Take it away.
Me? Well, yes, buddies. We have been wondering about, shall we stay in the Netherlands or go to the south?
It's beginning of September.
The best time to go south.
So if we want to go, we have to make a decision at least somewhere between now and end of October. When it's still good to drive.
Yep.
So there are a lot of benefits for going.
Yep.
Like what? What are the big benefits?
Warmth. Good weather, of course. Cheaper shopping. China stores.
Our friends will be, a lot of our friends will be there.
Also, yes, of course.
And yeah, the thought of having another winter in the Netherlands is not super appealing to us.
No, not really.
It means having to spend a lot of money on staying warm,
Yep.
petroleum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extra costs.
So normally, when we decide to go on a big adventure, big road trip,
You just turn the key and drive.
you turn the key and drive, and your worries will be twofold. One is, can we afford the trip? Can we pay for all the fuel? That was something when we went the first time. Was one of our worries, and the other worry was, will the van break down like the second time we went? Will it hold up? The smoky van.
Yep.
So, and of course, there was the worry of, can we find free spots with electricity? That was always a big worry, but when we had the solar panels, now we have the solar panels, and so that worry was taken away.
Yeah.
Now we have we have had some amazing work this year, so the financial worry is taken away a bit, and even a breakdown would be something that we could probably afford, as long as it's not another engine replacement.
Yes, exactly.
So, in much ways, we're better prepped if we go this time, the third time.
Yep.
We're better prepped. Well, we could better prep than ever.
Yeah, indeed.
So what is stopping us? What is holding us back?
Maybe you've heard of a little thing called Corona, COVID, and all the things that surround it. Yeah, well, it doesn't make travel any easier.
It does not, because
Not one bit.
that is an extra worry now. The worry is, being harassed
Possibly.
for traveling,
Yep.
or being checked whilst traveling. It adds a lot of stress, because we have to cross 4 countries to reach Portugal. We have to cross into Belgium, into France, into Spain, and then into Portugal. So that's 4 border crossings. So we need to be extremely lucky 4 times to cross without hassle. Now every of those 4 countries has different set of rules about traveling in a vehicle across the border, and those rules make it a headache.
And they change.
They change
Every few weeks.
So normally you just worry about, can we find a nice spot, can we fuel up, can we find somewhere nice to buy groceries, and now you have to worry about
Yes.
if you spot a checkpoint, if you spot a police car, and you have to constantly be on top of the news and the local news, and sometimes in a big country the rules vary
Per region.
per region.
Yep.
So it hasn't made traveling south a fun experience.
No.
Normally we would look on a camper app, find a nice spot to park,
Yep.
and say to each other, oh, maybe this is nice to make a little vlog about.
Yeah.
And this time you just want to be crossing as soon and quick as possible, and you can't really enjoy the trip if you're constantly worrying about, can I cross the border, can I cross the next border, will there be a checkpoint, will they give us a fine, will they arrest us, will they put us in quarantine, it's not fun.
Yep.
And it also adds financially, it adds a lot of strain on your budget, because usually you need tests to cross the border. You have to buy those tests in the country that you're in, because they're only valid for 1 or 2 days. So you have to buy a lot of tests, and so instead of finding camper spots, you have to find
Pharmacies.
and that's not fun.
No, not really.
And we're not eager to put
Stick up our nose.
something in our brain if we don't need to. Don't want to stick in our brain things. So, and at the end of the day, it's a lot of hassle. So because many of our friends who are going or who are already there say it's alright, you can cross the border without being arrested. But we know that can change any moment, because last time we were also at the checkpoint, and when we were at the checkpoint at the time, tests and everything was not required yet, but now it seems to be the new trend. And the travel is being discriminated upon at the moment, and that's something new. You have the fully vaccinated traveler, and you have unvaccinated travelers, and one is being favored versus the other, even though both are not completely free to travel. There's rules for both the vaccinated and unvaccinated, but there's being discriminated against unvaccinated people, and that's not a good development.
No.
And that's a dangerous development, especially if you're going to travel through 4 countries.
Indeed.
So you're setting yourself up for 3,500 kilometers. Anything can happen.
Yep.
And besides from breaking down, besides from all those things, besides from the lockdowns and everything, you're setting yourself also up for harassment by local authorities. And then there's the issue, if everything would go well, if we would reach Portugal unscathed, without checkpoints, without harassment, and if we stay for the winter, like for 5 or 6 months, and it will come March, and March we would have to drive back to the Netherlands for our safety inspection of the vehicle.
Will we get through?
What will be the rules by then? What will be the rules by then? Or will there be another lockdown in between, when campsites are being shut down and people being moved along, as we have experienced before? Both being moved along and being stuck in a lockdown. So there's that's also a consideration to be made, with the difference that now we have a bit more funding, so we could go to Bateside for a couple of months if we would need to. But it's still you have to wonder, if you think ahead, can we cross back in 4 countries?
Yeah.
Or what will the rules be in 6 months from now is very hard to predict.
Very hard.
But if the trend follows that everything gets more restricted and more restricted, and there's more rules, and there's more tests, and there's more push to get vaccinated. So you have to consider the possibility that things we might slip through the cracks and cross all the 4 borders this time. But what happens in 6 months if we would need to go back?
Yeah, indeed.
Would we be able to go back?
Good question.
And that's an important question to ask. And there's no easy answer. But all the signs, and signals at this time indicate things are going to get worse. And the reason that we think it's going to get worse is we see already countries like Canada, Israel, Australia, they live under tyranny at the moment. Medical tyranny. And usually you can already say, well, if those countries are like the trial grounds for more tyranny and more restrictions and removals of your freedom and your rights, and trampling on your freedom, trampling on your right, and if that happens in one of the 4 countries that we have to cross, it's not going to be fun, and you're not going to be welcome as a traveler in the camp of hand. And for us, we're still very vulnerable with our work, vulnerable with our budget, vulnerable with our van. Vulnerable with our health. If we would sign up for an experimental injection, we're going to risk our health. That's how we feel about it. We have we trust in our immune system. We trust in a lot of doctors who say that you shouldn't take an experimental injection. But many people, for their health, they think they should take one because they trust what the government and the news, the mainstream news, says to them. So they make a decision for their health to take it. And we listen also to other news sources who indicate that the best decision for your health is not to do it. What we all have in common is we want to do what's best for our health. And that's what we all agree on. The way we want to stay healthy, some people think vaccinating up is the way to go. And we think just staying healthy, trusting our immune system is the way to go. We've survived so far.
Yes.
And we've been through the danger zones.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So far so good. So there's a lot of unknown variables with these vaccines. And worst thing that could happen to us now is risking our health. And we think we put our health more at risk by jabbing up than by not jabbing up. So, following the philosophy that if we are wrong, we can always jab up. If we turn out to be wrong, we can always jab up later. Whenever in the future. But if we're right to be careful, if you've been jabbed up, you cannot unjab up yourself. And we think that's far more dangerous. What if we are right and it's wise to wait?
Nobody knows.
What will happen if you did jab up early on and risk your health, risk your side effects, and possibly become dependent on more medicines and pharmaceuticals from the same company that sells you the vaccine? They're now going to sell you the pharmaceuticals to treat all your side effects, which is, don't forget about that, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So we just choose to be careful, and because and a lot of people like us choose that, we're being discriminated on by everybody who's in the pockets of the pharmaceutical industry, which usually is some scientists, some journalists, some celebrities. So you have to take into account that not everything you hear or see on your television is real. You can be lied to, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So there's a lot of money to be made if you can only have to get some people to lie against the main public, which is all of us. So governments, celebrities, politicians, they don't have like a history of trustworthiness. So you really want to trust that all of those companies, if there's billions to be made and bribes are being made, you really trust those people with your health. So usually, if you follow the money, it all leads back to people standing to make enormous profits.
Of course.
And they have it's ridiculous to assume that when so much profit is to be made by a company, that they say, we don't care about those multi-billions that we can make, we only care about your health and safety. No, it doesn't fly, but anyway, it means that if you try to be sensible about things, you're being, at the moment, you're being cast out, shut out, ostracized, you're being discriminated against, you're being put in a conspiracy camp, you're going to be put in a quarantine camp. All those unpleasantnesses. So we're like, we don't know what's going to happen, but if it's going to happen, what we already see happening in Canada and Israel and Australia, if that comes here, the safest place for us to be is in the Netherlands. So it's with a heavy heart that we at the moment think that the most wise decision is
spend winter here for now.
If everything magically opens up again, we'll be first in line to leave.
Yep.
But we have to be careful about it.
Of course.
Because we've been in a situation of being kicked out and being locked down.
Yeah. No fun.
No fun. So it's difficult. It's difficult as a van lifer to stay positive because we're fed up. Fed up with being here in the country. We're fed up with being in such a tiny country with so little places where you can actually go to and enjoy yourself. And this is the country that we grew up in, that we got tired of, and we really felt alive and happy in the travels that we were doing and in the locations that we went to and the people that we met. So it makes it really difficult to say to those people and to ourselves, let's stay another winter. And that's been hard for us, psychologically, emotionally. So it's a whole new added level of complexity that wasn't there when we started the van life. And we are very happy that we started when we did, that we still got the taste and got to enjoy at least 2 years of going south and staying there for the winter. And will we ever be in that position again? We don't know. It's out of our control at the moment. And Yeah, he could of course always say, yeah, I'm feeling brave and courageous. Let's just go and see what happens. A lot of people that we talk to are about to do that. Also, fellow unvaccinated camper buddies like we are. They're saying, well, I can't handle another winter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go for it, and they don't know if they're gonna make it. But they think it's worth the risk, but they haven't been, of course, sent away. They haven't been locked down yet in another country.
No.
So if we hadn't, we'd probably be more brave to do that.
It's not the braveness, but more the unpredictability of what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's van life has become more of a chess game. You have to think a lot of moves ahead and predict a lot of possible moves against you that you have to anticipate.
Yeah.
And it's not fun always to think about all the what ifs, but you can't really ignore them either.
No.
Which is so. While we're in the Netherlands, we have more opportunities to find more work. It's been slow. It's been slow in August. It's been slow in July, and it's still slow now. September also. So, but we got some money, but we don't have enough money to say let's buy a better van yet. So we're still in this van, and we haven't done anything to fix this van up because we're still on the fence about if we find more money while we're still here, we might be able to switch vans, get another one, but it might also be that we still do another winter in this one. And then take it to the safety inspection early next year and see what we bought. Still not sure what we bought.
No.
We only know it drives well and it starts. And, that's about it. We haven't fueled up more than 3 times in a year, which is a new low for us. So yeah, I'm just trying to hang in there and stay a little bit positive. It's difficult sometimes, I must say.
Yes.
So there was a long, a long one.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, for the moment, yeah, I guess we're gonna stay another winter.
It is super tempting not to. Super tempting not to stay. Super tempting to start and go.
Yep, indeed.
But if we do that, it would be an impulsive decision. But we might do that. We've been known to sometimes make impulsive decisions.
Yeah.
But the chance is slim at the moment. Maybe in the next video we think differently.
Yeah, you never know. It can change just like that.
Yeah, it would be good for our moods to be traveling. It always lifts your spirit up. We miss our friends, so it would mean another few months or maybe a year of not seeing them.
Yep.
It's difficult.
Yep.
Difficult. But we have our ways to stay in touch. With each other, thanks to modern technology. But sometimes it's nice to just be with people. Some of our friends are luckily also staying in the Netherlands, so it balances each other out.
Yeah.
But it's it's difficult. I mean, there are people who have been traveling in all the countries and who are still going for the winter. We can't look in their minds. Everybody makes a different decision, and if you are already vaccinated up, you probably feel like you're good to go and enjoy, as long as the vaccine doesn't beat you down with your health. You're basically good to go. You can go to the pharmacies in every country and get sticks up your nose, and so you can cross another border. If that's the way you prefer, you can do that. And if you say you're unvaccinated and you're going to go up the goat paths in your motorhome to avoid the checkpoints, yeah, that's do it. We'd love to see all that. But we can only make a decision for our situation based on our experience and everything. So it's difficult. It's a whole new level of worrying compared to our other worries from other adventures.
Oh, yes.
But on the upside, it gives us more opportunity if you're not traveling to see if we can get more work going, and possibly get another van first before we attempt the journey south. Because going in this van in its current setup with not a good bed to sleep in, you're not really well rested when you wake up. It's not ideal if you go. So in many ways, the Peugeot Boxer van that we had, it was perfect for a journey south. So we are thinking about something similar than the Peugeot Boxer, but probably not the Peugeot, maybe Fiat Ducato. If we can find something, and if we can afford that, it would have to be at a dealer who is willing to trade in their van versus our van, plus a little bit money that we put on top of that, to make something work that would fit us better, sleep wise, than this van does. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can focus on still. But it just means we don't make so many vlogs, because there's not really much
to report.
Yeah. So that's us. Well, that's what's going through our minds and has been since a couple of months now.
Yep.
So yeah, we wish we could say more nicer things, but this is also part of the documenting of our life's adventure, van life. And yeah, everybody is affected in some way, and everybody makes their own choices, and as long as we can respect the choices, it's alright. But there's a lot of discrimination already going on, and it could only get worse if you look at the history. When one group starts discriminating another group, things get really unpleasant really fast. So thank you for watching.
Yes.
And let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
In the comments, yeah.
So, yeah.
See you in the next one.